Let me show you how to install a TeraValve kit into a TeraValve XL. Your TeraValve kit will include these parts. You will have an O-ring for your tungsten carbide sleeve. You will actually have a tungsten carbide sleeve. You will have a tungsten carbide plunger. You will have a diaphragm. You would have a plug assembly. It would be the seat included also. These are 2 copper gaskets, that's very important. You also would have a plunger seal, and you would also have lubricant and Loctite included in the kit. Now that we know that what's included in the kit, we're going to talk about what tools to use. Got 7/16 open-end wrench. We also have a dental tool. We also have a 7/16 socket. We also use a cordless drill, but you can also use 2 7/16 wrenches and it'll do the same thing. The first thing you want to do is you want to remove the TeraValve cap. The next thing you would like to do is to flip the valve over and remove the valve base. You want to take your dental tool and you want to remove the seat, which is included in your kit. At this time, you want to push your plunger all the way through the valve as much as you can so you can remove the plunger diaphragm assembly. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the sleeve. The next thing we want to do is we want to remove the clean out plug. The next thing we want to do is we want to take apart the diaphragm from the plunger. You will notice that you have 2 copper gaskets, one below the diaphragm plate and one above. These are very important that you replace these and do not forget to install. We want to get our new plunger. We want to get one of our new copper gaskets. We want to place the copper gasket over the plunger threads. You want to take your diaphragm off, the old diaphragm, and you want to put a new one between the 2 diaphragm plates. Reinstall the diaphragm with the diaphragm plates back over the plunger. So once we put the diaphragm and the diaphragm plates over the plunger, what we want to do next is we want to install our copper washer. At this time, the Loctite that's included in your kit, you want to put Loctite on the threads of the plunger before installing the nut on the threads of the plunger. And we want to tighten the nuts to the plunger, making sure that it's nice and tight. Next thing we want to do is we want to turn the valve body over and we want to reinstall the plunger and diaphragm assembly. Turn the valve back over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to install the plunger seal. This is very important. Here's your plunger seal, and if you would notice, that is considered the top of the plunger seal. It's got an O-ring in there. This is considered the bottom. This is very important, the orientation that you put this seal. You want to put this seal inside of the valve with the O-ring installed down, making sure that you walk this seal around the edge of the plunger very carefully, trying not to damage the plunger seal. Once you do have it past the edge and you push it down as far as you can with your thumbs, now you can install your O-ring onto your sleeve. At this time, what you would do is you would use some of the lubricant, the grease, and you would put over this area where your O-ring is, and then you would install it into the valve body using the plunger to push the plunger seal all the way down to the bottom of the valve body. Once you finish that, the next thing you want to do is you want to install the seat. This is very important. The seat has 2 different sides. This is the side that goes down. As you would notice, it actually has a pitch to it. If you look at the other side, it's flat. You want to install the side with the pitch down into the valve. The next thing you want to do is you want to reinstall the valve base, making sure you reinstall all washers and nuts that goes with the base. After hand tightening all of your nut, what you want to do is you want to torque down the base. There is a torque orientation that you need to make sure that you use. Now there's a certain order that you want to torque down your base bolts. You want to go in a cross tightening order. Now what we're going to do is we're going to install the clean out plug. First thing that you want to do is you want to install and hand tight the 7/16 bolts. After snugging them down with your fingers, you want to use a wrench to torque these down. You definitely do not want to use power tool because you will deform the plug, and what would happen is you're going to start getting leakage if you deform the plug. Just very snugly tighten the 7/16 bolts until you feel that they're snug enough to where it won't leak. Now we're going to turn the valve back right side up. What we're going to do is we're going to install the spring and reinstall the cap. There's a certain orientation that you want to reinstall the cap. You want to make sure that your breather vent is 180 degrees from the entry of the valve. You're going to find that there's going to be some resistance because of the spring, so you're going to have to apply pressure and push down on the cap to get your nuts started. Now that you have all 4 bolts installed, you're going to need to use your open-end wrench as a backup, and you want to tighten down the cap in the same pattern as you did the base. You want to make sure you cross tighten the bolts. And this is how you install a repair kit into a Tera Valve XL. If you should have any questions or any issues, please feel free to contact us.